Hi, we're here at App World 2024, F5's premier application security and delivery conference. And we have one of our DevCentral MVPs, Tim Riker, with us. And we've collaborated on some projects as well in the DevCentral community and the code share. But you're here today to share like one of the biggest, actually probably the biggest code share package that we have on DevCentral in Big IP reports. So why don't you just take it away?
So in our organization, we have a lot of different F5s, and at one point I hired an engineer who had used this tool in a past life. Patrick started it, but it's available. You'll be able to see the screen share on DevCentral. So I'm just going to walk through the demo that's publicly available. So right here within the page on DevCentral, you can click on the interactive demo, and this will bring up the Big IP report. So what Big IP report is it is an LTM tool. It goes through one or more F5s and collects all the data from them and then consolidates it into one single report. We run the tool every half hour, and then we have many of our employees who can go and look at this data instead of accessing it through the Big IP interface itself.
Okay.
So we start off in demo environment. There's only one device.
Okay.
You can see installed. But in our environment, we have Viprions, we have regular hardware, 5050s, we have virtual machines, and we have a lot of different F5s all on one list. You'll notice that the serial number is accessible here, so if you need to open a ticket with F5, you've got information without logging into the individual F5s. The virtual servers are over here in the virtual server tab. I don't know why I'm getting dictionary, cut that out. And this is a list of all virtual servers. You can see it down here at the bottom. There are only 17 in this demo. In our environment, we have 1,500 virtual servers. And I can search through this list by anything. So if I export a pool over here behind the Big IP VIP, you can see I have a pool, which is also called Big IP report in this instance, with two different node entries. I can search by one of those.
Oh, so if that node is in multiple pools.
Right, so if I was to search over here, you're on a Mac.
Command V.
I think I've got a, you want to?
Yeah, you got it, Command
C.
Yep, and then Command V over there.
Command V.
It took me 2 weeks when I switched to Mac to figure that out.
So now you'll see that it automatically expanded the virtual server that those pools were in, and you're able to see this.
Nice.
You can actually, if you have administrative access, go into Preferences and turn on direct links to those entries, and then go back to the same view, and you can now see I have an edit button for all of those.
Oh, nice.
I can jump directly to editing the virtual server, editing the pool, or looking at the machine data. So, but there's details right on the node. So if I click on the pool, I'm seeing all the pool members, the type of monitor that's assigned to each of those pools. Their current pool status is here as being down and enabled in this case, as well as the IP. And there are direct links here that you can go in and try an HTTP request to those pool members to see if they're up. I just copy that link and paste it in. We're not inside VPN, so I'm not going to do that at the moment. One of the things we use in our organization a lot is we expose all your certificates across the organization, and you can sort these. Any of these fields are sortable by clicking on the arrows on the right. So I've just sorted them by what's expired. In our organization, we have over 200 certificates installed in our F5s.
Okay.
And we walk in on a monthly basis, look at this list, sort it by the expiry, and we know which certificates we have to renew in that month.
Gotcha.
The red ones are ones that are expired. If there were any that were coming up for expiration shortly, they would be in yellow. In the demo, there's not any of those, but you can sort by that list. I can also look at the pools. I don't know why it keeps doing this selection. I can look at the pool directly. Remember, we had that Big IP report pool. I can expand that. I can also look at iRules. So if there are iRules that are, let's see if I can find my, I think this is Patrick's demo. So so this is my logging iRule. You can see there's syntax highlighting for the rules. If there are pools referenced within, or data groups referenced within your iRule, which we do a lot of, those data groups should be links.
Oh, nice. So even within your editor, you can link out to your data groups.
You can click directly to the data group. If you're looking at a virtual server, the virtual server will have in its details, it will show any iRules or any data groups that are in use by the virtual server. In this case, there weren't any.
Okay.
So I get down to the details or don't include one. But the idea is discovery.
Yeah.
So we have many employees who don't need guest or auditor access on the F5. They can't find things as easily there as they could in the report. So the report in our environment updates every half hour, and then most of the users go directly to here. We actually expose the JSON backend, so in the demo now you can click on this JSON link over on the right, and these are the files that are used to render all of the different tables that you see
nice.
in the interface. And many of our security people, for example, will go directly into, let me find virtual servers down here, the virtual servers JSON file. Come on. And,
okay.
And they run their queries directly against
so
that.
they can just pull this via curl or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
that's fantastic. Well, that was certainly no small effort to build.
It's been an ongoing, Patrick is the one who started it. I rewrote a lot of it for performance reasons because he was running a smaller setup than I was.
Yeah.
But now I've got, like I say, I gave you an idea. I've got 26 different F5s, 13 pairs, 2,000-ish virtual servers, about 2,000 iRules. I don't remember how many pools we have at the moment. And all of that queries in parallel in PowerShell against all of our different nodes in 2 minutes.
Okay, wow.
And then renders in seconds here on the display.
Okay, so I heard you say PowerShell, so it's built in PowerShell.
So the script runs in PowerShell and then builds static files which can be hosted on anything.
Okay.
We host on Apache. There is a Docker image linked from the DevCentral site, so which includes the server in it, as well as the tools to build it.
Docker up and you're good to go.
So you can use the Docker, you can run the script directly. Updates are done through GitHub, but they're published on DevCentral.
Yeah. Well, fantastic. What a fantastic goal. In fact, there's a lot more functionality here than the last time I looked at it.
I got to show some of the, so the reset here will clear your search. Mm-hmm. Right, the searches can be done in here. So if I type MC, I'm going to get just the one that has MC. You can also search in the field titles.
Oh, wow, okay.
And all of these searches are regular expressions. So I could type B, I don't know what other do I have that I can search. I don't know this data so well, but B, that's going to search for B followed by I followed by P. You can do extended regular expressions, so open parenthesis, one phrase, pipe, the other phrase.
Yeah.
You can turn that functionality on and off. That's one of the preference settings. Use regular expressions.
Nice.
Some of those advanced searches are in the Help tab, if you haven't used that, where it talks about regular expression searching.
Hold on. You built this tool and you provided documentation?
And documentation, it's amazing.
I love a documented tool, so that's fantastic.
So that's, maybe not as extensive as it could be, but it links directly to our GitHub report. These are configurable links. So in our organization, we have our load balancing team does directly, F5 has a Teams channel, and so we've put that link right up here and just configure it in your XML file, and every time the report builds, it dynamically fills in those links. So you can link to your internal support teams, contacts, email, whatever you want to. We've put DevCentral and F5 support on here, but that's configurable.
Yeah.
The other thing I ought to mention is dynamic updates. So if you have pools updated, this version of the script doesn't have a full F5 it's talking to.
Yeah.
But if I expand these pools and then click up here in the status, it will pull the F5 dynamically to fill in the status of your pool members.
Okay, so you got like your cached data, but then you can also interact directly if you need to. Okay.
Right, so it won't dynamically load new pool members, but it will update the status of the current pool members. So we run the report every half hour, and that's been sufficient because usually you're not generating giant configuration changes within a half hour.
Right.
But your pool members are what the teams are usually looking for. What's the status of all my members? You can go in and search by IP, search by pool name, search by column. I've just added ports, so you can see here if I search in the IP field for comma, this entry has both port 8080 and port 8443, so that's a port list.
Yeah.
So we support address lists and port lists. There's a policies tab, so you can have your APM policies are exposed here. in a text rendering, this could be improved, but at least the basics are there, so you can see what the policy is doing. We use data groups extensively, so some of the data groups in our environment have 9,000 entries in them, and it handles very large data groups, very large data sets.
Okay, wow. Well, again, Patrick, watching from home, I'm sure, and Tim, thank you for the amazing tool you built.
Absolutely.
And that on top of building an amazing tool that you share with the community. And
I know a lot of people on DevCentral are already using the tool. I know there's a lot of other F5 customers who aren't even aware it exists.
Yeah.
So spread the word, because, there's feedback right on DevCentral or directly on GitHub, either way. And we're happy to work on bugs or new features, and we're happy to take patches if people want to join the project. Come on.
And even today, I talked to people, or actually I heard you talking to a couple, like, whoa, that I didn't even know that existed. That's amazing. So, for certain. So projects like this, Big IP report, out on the DevCentral code share, come to community.f5.com and just search through the code share, because not just like passive tools like this, but also people share iRules and iControl scripts and policy recommendations.
The last studio recording was ServiceNow automation integration with F5. There's
exactly.
a lot of tools on DevCentral.
Yeah, there's tremendous tools. Even if they're not hosted on DevCentral, a lot of them choose to just link over to their own GitHub repositories, which is fantastic. So, if you are looking for tools or you want to join us in the community and share and contribute, come to community.f5.com, and we look forward to seeing you out there in the community. Tim, thank you.
Thank you.